Sir, why is so important for the planet, for the future, to have ethical market nowadays?
Well, the marketplace is one of the principal ways we decide what kind of future we want. And if we don't make careful choices, then the rules of the marketplace can push us toward results that we don't want, or that we don't like. There was a psychologist once named Abraham Maslow, famous for the study of what's valuable and what's not. And he once said, if the only tool you have is a hammer, every problem begins to look like a nail. And in the same way, if when we go into the marketplace, the only tool we use for deciding what is valuable is the price tag, then those things that don't have price tags may begin to seem as if they have no value.
Sure.
And the economists have a word, externalities, that they use to describe all those things that don't have price tags, that they don't want to follow very carefully. But if you look at the externalities, they include air, which actually we internalize regularly.
Right.
Water, which we internalize.
Also.
The beauty of a sunset, the love of our families, the health and vitality of communities. These are all things that are important to us. And since the marketplace is also very important to us for our livelihood and for deciding how to allocate resources and how to value work and how to distribute goods and services, it's important to try to find ways to get the marketplace to operate effectively in its own economic terms, but to operate in ways that actually take into account these things that are sometimes ignored by the strict rules of classical economics, because those rules are faulty. When you say ethical, what you're really saying is it recognizes the values that we know to be true and right. For example, we don't want products in the marketplace that are harmful to young children.
Sure.
Just to use that one example, it would be unethical to have the mass marketing of products that hurt children. If we relied only on the economic rules, it might be a long time before those kinds of products were removed. And so we decide as mothers and fathers and family members that we're going to require that the marketplace act in ways that are ethical, even if the economic patterns take a long time to recognize that. We're going to say, no, that's not good enough. We need to recognize that more quickly.
On your book that I have here in Portuguese, you say something about to bring the capitalism into our cause, I mean, to save the planet. How to do that? How to take the capitalism and put on the roles of the future, of the conservation?
Yes.
How to do that?
Well, there are many ways to do it, and the good news is that a lot of companies, a lot of CEOs are now learning that they can make profits if they recognize these values and behave in ways that are ethical for the planet, that people want to buy their products.
Sure.
Because what they're buying is not only the physical matter of the product, they're buying a set of feelings that they have about that product. And if they own a wooden object that has been made in ways that have led to death and suffering, they aren't going to feel good about owning that. So companies that take great care to behave ethically are now finding better markets for their products.
You have a good examples that in the States, right? I mean, from enterprise companies that are ethical and they make more money, but they have to respect the planet. I mean, to respect the future. This is possible, right? And what you say to the businessmen or to the enterprises, to the companies, to do that and to convince them, do that because you're gonna earn more money.
Yeah.
That's very hard job, isn't it?
Well, not necessarily. I'm hearing from more and more business leaders who are very responsive to that proposal. And one of the keys is what time frame are you using to measure what's profitable and what's not profitable? If you are focused on the next quarterly report, that is the next 3 months, then some of the investments that might otherwise be very profitable and help the environment in the process, help the company become more efficient, they may not seem to be profitable if you're only interested in the short term.
Sure.
But if you are willing to operate in what I would regard as a realistic way and look over a period of a few years, then the value of those kinds of choices becomes more obvious.
Sure.
And in corporate finance 101, if you go to graduate school and take that course, they teach that the real value of a company typically builds up over a period of 6, 7, 8, 9 years. 80% or more of the value builds up over a business cycle and a half. If investors put their money into that company and then take it back out again in 2 or 3 months, then they're not really investing.
Of course.
They're speculating.
Right.
They may call it momentum investing.
Right.
But I've been to Las Vegas and I've been momentum investing at the casino.
That's true.